Jadakiss, he got a new podcast, and I had no idea. You tried to sign the locks, he revealed it on there.
That part's true, right? So a lot of people probably don't know this, but I love Mary J. Blige. Mary J. Blige is family, her sister Tanya, her mother. So Mary came to me one day and was like, hey, I got this group. And I think they all from Rockhurst, New York, whatever, right? And she was telling me about it. So I got this group. I want to do something with. I want you to sign them. I said, no, she said, I want you to listen to them because I want you to sign them. I said, look, Mary, you my sister. If you like them, I love them. Let's go, right? So I got involved with the locks, and the locks come from DMX also, but it went from Mary to two brothers, and these guys are still great friends of me today. I think they're incredible guys. They're the ones started Rough Riders, which Y and D now, right? So that part was definitely true. I definitely would have had the locks on death row. And it was at a time where my producers and myself and the artist was focused. And I felt we probably would have made that group, shit, one of the best groups of all time if that moment would have happened.
Yeah, he also said that you will pop up at places he will be at.
You know, somebody mentioned that, right? Man, Jadakiss need to snap out that bullshit and take some of that chili sauce for that shit. Too much hot sauce, number one. Most important thing, like I said, D was my people. Number two, a motherfucker wanted to holler at Jadakiss to get at Jadakiss. Shit, he was spotted, got done. And the only reason why he wasn't done because I have a relationship with D now. I have a relationship with a lot of guys I'm real close to that know them. And I had no reason to push up on Jadakiss or trip on Jadakiss. I just know Jadakiss to be a guy who's rapping. I'm happy he's rapping, but I ain't never known him to be with all the bullshit. So that's that. I would say this. When I was in prison in the 90s, they did a video. So it was Puffy and Jadakiss and whatever, right? They took a Impala, and I had one of those cars, you know? And they was like driving in it like a lookalike with me, both been shooting a jab at Death Row or Pac or myself or whatever, right? So when the homies told about it and Jada's talking about pop up, but shit, there's been some times where he was at a studio and they was finna get on him. You know, they was waiting on him to come out. So when they told me they was on him, I was like, nah, give Jada a pass. Me and D, we family. And at the same time, you know, that was an easy one. I don't think Jada's is a tough guy. I don't think Jada's has never been a tough guy. I know he's not physically in the way he looks and the way he moves that he ready for all the bullshit to come with this West Coast shit, you know? So never no situation where we was on Jadakiss and looking for Jadakiss. Like I said, if it was, he was found, he was dead, he was done. But that never happened. And I'm glad because I think it's great for Jadakiss to continue to do his podcast or whatever he's doing and be successful. You know, I think peace is way better than anything else. This is my opinion. But I don't have a lot of shit to say because I really don't know Jadakiss. I ain't never known him to be with the rah rah.
I heard you try to sign DMX.
Now, X was a real special artist. X was incredible. And once again, I felt that I put my input and told Interscope and those guys over there how great he was. Uh, I definitely, like I say, I fuck with D from the Rough Riders. I think their movement was incredible. I think E was incredible. And I think that if it wasn't for Interscope getting involved, the Rough Riders would have been a major, major player in the game today. Because you got to remember, the Rough Riders knew how to deal with DMX. The Rough Riders would know how to deal with Eve or the Locks. But when everybody came in and broke, and you know, you got to understand about the industry. When you take an artist and you make him a star, regardless if it's Warner Brothers or Sony or Universal or Interscope, they're not coming to you and say, "Hey, you got the best artist in the planet." They coming at you like, how can I go directly to those artists and take those artists from you? So when end up when DMX end up in the hands of Russell Simmons or Leo Cohen, and it ended up where they didn't know how to deal with the DMX. If the Rough Riders was dealing with DMX, he'll still be alive today. That's what I feel. Because if he was going with one of his episodes, they're gonna show up and they know how to protect him. They know how to reel him back in to keep him there. These guys didn't know how to protect him. They didn't know how to reel him back in, and I don't think they cared. So that's a real learning experience that we gotta use today in the industry. Don't lose what made that artist who they are. Because once you take that away, they either end up dead or not making music anymore or not selling records. Basically washed up.
How you feel about the people that compare X to Pop?
Two apples and oranges. I mean, they both black men. Um, I think they had some things in common for is like they both DMX will act, but Pac was an actor. Pac can play any role that you give him. I think if Pac would have been alive today, Denzel would have tapped out a long time ago, or this person would have tapped out a long time ago. I think Pac would have just got better and better and better and better because Pac had the intelligence and the knowledge to grow. And not knocking DMX, but DMX had some monsters in his closet. Pac didn't have those monsters in his closet. Pac was a man that was in control. Pac was a man that if he trusts you, he trusts you. If he loves you, he loves you. And couldn't nobody change that. So many different people since Pac is moved on in life, they have opinion. You know, you got people who did never met Pac in their life had an opinion. Yeah, some people knew Pac and never really had a conversation with Pac. Like, for instance, I think Danny Boy is a great young man. We ain't a young man anymore. And I got a love for Danny Boy. And somebody brought to my attention, it might have been old, and somebody posted where Danny Boy says that Pac was an asshole. And I didn't really hear it, but I was surprised that if Danny Boy had something bad to say about Pac, it was wrong. Now, Danny Boy, I'm talking to you. Still today, I got love for you. I remember the first day I met you, Danny Boy. You was signed to the homie Shorty. And Shorty couldn't get a deal from you. So Shorty sold me a contract. I gave Shorty $250,000 for you. As I was working with that same day or the next day or so, reason why I got so much respect for you, Danny Boy, your mother was in the hospital. You put me on the phone with your mother. And you told me the story that when she gave birth to you, she had a stroke, and the only person can really fully understand it was you. I thought that was the most incredible thing that a person can have and say about a mother and father relationship. Also, Danny boy, Pac loved you. When I went to Tupac, I said, Pac, this like my son. This young dude can sing. We need to do something for him. The first thing Pac said was, let's go. He put you on, I ain't mad at you. He put you on and did anything he wanted to do with you and for you. You should never forget that. I don't know how much you really understood that, but we had all the love in the world for you. If there was a video or a song, toss it up. I already had Casey and JoJo on there. I already had Ann Hall on there. You wasn't a fit and you was young, but I made sure you was on there and you did a great job. We gotta all stop worrying about who paying us to say something negative or say something bad. We'll grow further and longer by saying great things about each other. I'm never gonna say nothing bad about you, Danny boy. Don't say bad things about Pac. Because at the end of the day, anytime I did a video for you, even in Cabo, he showed up. So, that's being said, I just think it's a long time coming and so much going on in the world that we are so much stronger together than not together.